Hey there, y'all, and welcome to today's Daily Down and Dirty. My name is Fairlight. Welcome to Airy Fairy Tarot. All right, y'all, the message today is driving your purpose. We start out with the Devil's Play card, which is more fun than just the devil. And then we've got the Woman of Worlds, Queen of Pentacles. And then we've got the Ten of Cups. So both of these cards are Capricorn energy. So I like that we have this Capricorn influence. If it was just the Devil's Play by itself, it might be taking the reading in a different direction. But because we've got this energy with this Queen of Pentacles, which is a Capricorn card, it feels like it's really about valuing yourself enough to stay the course of whatever your goals are, valuing your purpose, valuing what drives you. It's really committing yourself and disciplining yourself to the goals that you have, that proverbial top of the mountain kind of a thing. And it looks like as you really commit yourself to this thing, then you get this Ten of Cups, which is, it's a happily ever after card. This is emotional fulfillment, complete fulfillment. And 1 + 0 = 1. And so it's like when you complete a cycle of one thing, you establish a foundation for yourself to move on to the next thing. I feel like going into this Devil's Play card just a little bit more with this Queen of Worlds. And that there's just something about how we create our own world. We create our own reality. And then part of this Devil's Play, this is possibly my favorite devil card because there's so much fun going on. I love these two characters here. I feel like this is me and one of my friends. We're both Capricorns. And, and I feel like, I like to reference Alan Watts' talk about the element of irreducible rascality. And in that talk, he's got these different names. I wish I could remember the words. They're from different languages, but they describe humanness. And it is human to be a rascal. It's human to be what others consider imperfect. It's human to be, I like the word rascal. It's human to not always be pious or whatever the fuck. And yes, while we do want to, and I'm not even sure what the word is that I want to say. While we do want to do the best we can, I'll just say that and give it a generic. Well, of course, we're always doing the best we can. And sometimes we do have to make sacrifices. And so isn't it interesting that that's what's wanting to come through as we talk about disciplining yourself, yet also keeping it in balance. I think it's kind of like, going to extremes, and I'll call myself out because sometimes I go through really wanting a strong, committed relationship. And so I've gone through times in my life where I took vows of celibacy because I don't want to be putting myself out there. I want to keep myself pure and pristine so that when the right one shows up, my energy is pure. And fasting in all its forms can definitely be beneficial, and I don't regret taking those vows. At the same time, I took those vows, and I'm still alone. So never alone, but single, you know what I mean? So not to make it about me, but it does feel like, sometimes we can go to these extremes with discipline. And I think it's saying don't lose yourself in the process. Like, definitely commit to yourself. Definitely commit to whatever it is that you're wanting to create in the world. Definitely commit to your goals and your dreams. Commit to yourself and discipline yourself. But at the same time, don't deny aspects of yourself. You're allowed to have fun. You're allowed to have friends. You're allowed to turn up. Keep yourself in balance with that. And really live the passion of life. We don't have to wait for someday to have fun. We can't just expect the passion we feel today to be there tomorrow. And so while this is a Cups card, usually I attribute passion to fire energy, but I like that the Ace of Water, the Ace of Emotions, it's this emotional fulfillment. And aces, I see them as doorways. These are opportunities. It's a brand new start, initiating something that brings you a lot of passion and emotional fulfillment. So then we move over, we've got the Ace of Worlds. So I love that we've got, Ace of Worlds, 4 of Crystals, the Moon, 2 of Wands, and the 3 of Worlds. I don't do reversals with this deck unless they jump on the floor and make themselves that way. So let's go back. So we've got the Ace of Worlds and this 4 of Crystals. These 2 together, I am feeling some sort of pragmatism. And honestly, it's almost reinforcing this same message that came through with these 2 cards. As far as you've got this Ace, and it's so funny because I feel like I was talking about an ace and we didn't have one. Oh yeah, I was calling this 10 of Cups an ace. Well, it wanted to be an ace. 1 + 0 = 1, and here we've got an ace. So we've got this Ace of Worlds, which is titled Success. This is Earth energy. Earth is very slow moving here with the Queen and the Ace. Very slow moving, but also the most sustaining and sustainable. And I always like to give it, if you're planting a garden, you've got to cultivate those seeds. You've got to nourish that garden into being. But if you really commit yourself to it, and if you're patient and disciplined, you will have an abundant harvest. And so it very much feels like committing to your goals, really initiating this brand new beginning. And yeah, it just, and I don't know why I'm like, I didn't even eat a gummy or anything, but but I feel like I'm being taken into outer space with all of these. It's almost giving me this, with all these orbiting around the sun, there is this divine timing. So again, speaking to divine cycles, surrendering to the cycles that are. You can be very eager about fall, but you can't make the fall come any sooner. We're in spring right now. And so you can be excited about the leaves changing, but right now we can be excited about the flowers and the leaves coming in. So again, aligning to these divine cycles and looking at Saturn, it just kind of feels like with that patience, I feel a message of trust. Trust the divine timing, trust divine cycles, trust yourself, trust that you planted the seeds exactly when they were meant to be planted, and trust that they will bloom exactly when they're supposed to. And I don't know, for some reason I feel this message of like, almost like there's things being worked out behind the scenes, like you can't really see or know the way things are coming together, but if you just stay very focused and disciplined and nourish what you can trust that things are working out behind the scenes very much for your benefit. And then we've got this 4 of Crystals. This is where that pragmatism comes in. So it's like being excited about it. And then there are some logical things that you can do about it. In some ways, it just kind of feels like when things aren't quite blossoming yet, it's more like look to what you can invest in. So say this is about starting a brand new business and you really want that success, and maybe you're set up to do certain things, but maybe this says do the mundane things. Maybe it's time to get organized. Usually this is a card of meditation, the 4 of Swords, but because there's these crystals and they call it logic, it just kind of feels like look for what needs to be done. Look for the things that I don't know, it's like feeling like in an office, like does the trash need to be taken out? Do you need to sweep the floor? Maybe not quite to that mundane of it, but really maybe you could learn about marketing or learn about whatever it is. It feels like while you've got time to while things are unfolding or whatever, maybe it's telling you to use your time wisely. Then we've got the Moon, more emphasis about divine timing, divine cycles. Also, maybe, things becoming clearer, what was in shadow coming into light, that sort of thing. Also, I just get this feeling of like unforeseen challenges may arise, but it feels like a good thing because these other cards around it are so good. Unforeseen challenges may arise. And I was just having a conversation with my friend Maddie about the power of the anomaly. And while there are mechanistic aspects to the universe, like there's nothing we can really do that's going to change the way the planets orbit the sun. We can affect change in our own lives. We do have free will, but it is within a limited structure. You know, we are on this planet. Gravity is going to affect us. A need for oxygen and water is going to affect us. And while we can discipline ourselves in certain ways to hold our breath or whatever, eventually we all need oxygen. And so it's like the cycles really do happen, but there are anomalies that happen. I have this silly example. I was doing a talk show with my Asheville bestie Murph. We might get back to it again. It's called Tune Your String. And the last show that we did, we had a special guest, a friend of Murph's, and what I was planning for the show to happen, it just went in a completely different flow because of the special guest that we had, and she was the anomaly. And then the way things all worked out, her anomaly, what she presented, the way she just completely changed the course of the show, it ended up working to our benefit, or at least to my personal benefit, in a very personal way. But and I just really had to appreciate afterwards, like, wow, that really saved the day. And but I had to go with the flow. I had to like release attachment to the way I thought it was going to happen and allow it to happen as it did. And so I'm kind of feeling like that. And then we've got this Two of Wands energy. And so again, I really like this embracing unforeseen challenges and utilizing the anomaly to propel you in maybe higher envisioning, or new directions. You can use the anomaly as a jumping off point to take you higher or to take you in a new direction and dream bigger. And so with that Two of Wands, it really is a world is your oyster type of energy. I like that you're like within a room, but you're looking out the window and the whole world is out there. Where in the world would you like to go? What in the world would you like to experience? And it's all about what you choose to create and working with things both seen and unseen. And then we arrive at the Three of Worlds. This is one of my favorite cards, Three of Pentacles, Three of Earth, because this is so much the starving artist card, or it's just about what is your soul's purpose? What drives you? What drives your soul? What is this, Capricorn energy that we started out with about you feel so deeply about it? It's that fishtail on the sea goat. What do you feel so deeply about? What is so meaningful to you about your purpose and speaks to you that there is a pinnacle, a height, there is a destination, a goal that you just truly know that you must arrive at. And, again, we release attachment to outcomes, but that pinnacle, that goal drives you to keep going and stay committed to yourself and stay committed to the seeds that you've sown, stay committed to what you're invested in and seeing it through until you achieve that success. So I love all of this Pentacles energy. I love that we've got this 10 of Cups, this passion. So definitely, take your time, have your vision, be clear, and then the rest is just, nourish it, nurture it, and allow yourself to receive all that you work so hard for. All right, that's all I have for today. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Fairlight. So again, thank you and peace and love until next time.